Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful and joyous season. Today is December 29th, and right now it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. And the importance of me telling you the time is I want to open a discussion with you about sun mapping and why it's so important that you do it in the winter and not just the summertime. Understanding the 4 seasons of your garden space is very, very critical. Keeping in mind that with as the seasons go and as the sun's angle changes, you may not consider that you would want to grow something in your yard during the colder months, and perhaps the angle of the sun will be shading your garden versus giving you full sun that you might have in the summertime. So if you're planning to build a garden in the summer and you haven't taken the time to sun map your yard in the winter, you may be in for some surprises. So let's go take a walk through the backyard garden and check out the angles of the sun so I can point out some things to you. Hey guys, say hello to every birdie. Say hi. There's the birdies out getting some good winter sunshine. So it's not very often that we get to bring the birds out at the end of December for some sunshine, but I've said many times our garden is a microclimate, and it's much warmer out here. I think the thermostat said that it was 51, but it feels more like it's around 63 beautiful degrees here. So right now I'm going to just spin myself around a little bit so you can see the main garden, for those of you who feel as if you've been walking through the garden with me while I do my tours. And you can see the rest of our backyard space is all in full sun. And the sun rises in the east just behind me here and then goes and sets in the west. So most of our garden here is south facing. So in the summertime, this garden is fully ablaze with sun, like side to side, front to back, and there is absolutely no shade back here. So while we work out here and we're trying to harvest and water things, we often find ourselves in a place where we're just searching for some shade and we cannot find it. Now, when we planned to build this garden, we didn't do it in winter, and we never considered that we would be growing cold weather crops here. So now we face a few challenges as we deal with our original beds. So right now, this is our cornfield that you usually see, and in the fall it grows brassicas for us and cabbages and turnips and rutabagas, things like that. Now back here where the raised beds are, these are our new beds that are not finished yet. This all grows mainly peppers and tomatoes back here, and you can see all the shade. Well, this area here, when it freezes at night, it does not really unfreeze. Like just stepping back here, oh my gosh, I'm totally in a microclimate now. I'm absolutely freezing cold. And this soil here is actually partially frozen and unworkable. So for the longest time, I couldn't really understand why I was not growing winter carrots successfully as an inexperienced gardener. And here's why. At 12:30 in the afternoon, there's no sun and the soil is freezing. But I never thought about that. However, my lettuce is still happy. Almost January, I'm still able to harvest lettuce. So now you can see over here, our main tomato area is still workable soil because it's out in the sun. And just, 2 feet of difference goes from a frozen zone to a workable zone that is in a microclimate and stays very, very warm. So, this was has been a big challenge for us because, like I said, there were things I was trying to grow and I was just unsuccessful at it. So if you're looking to start a new garden this spring, and so many people are getting into the gardening phase over the past couple years, and some people have just, had fear of how to do it and not getting started and not understanding what's going on. And, maybe you didn't consider that the area you want to grow your garden in being up against a fence, even though your garden space that you're projecting for the future may have south facing or west facing sun. Something that I want you to consider is, will you be building your garden up against the fence? Because as the sun is behind it in the south, it will be causing a shadow just like I showed you. Or perhaps your neighbor's trees are tall and growing, which is also, you can see all around us, something that we face here. So we have even more shade now than we did when we first started to build our gardens. So we've been working on expanding the area closer to the house, where this is truly full sun back here. So we are incorporating some flower areas and more tomato areas, and the small cottage garden area in the back also gets a tremendous amount of sun. And I'm able to grow herbs all season long. Let me show you. Now, this is just a quick area that Farmer John put together for me out of reclaimed pavers, and I have chives still holding on. I have some delicious, this is called Cascada lemonade thyme. This is so delicious. I have lime thyme and some English thyme growing. This stays evergreen and is perennial, as well as this amazing oregano bush, which was a very, very tiny sprig a few years ago. And it also brought itself over here to volunteer and give us plenty of oregano over here. So with all of this wonderful full exposure sun all day, there are some things that we're able to grow all season long. And even the carrots are doing really incredible still inside of the green stalks here. So they're doing pretty good, and it might be getting ready to harvest them soon. Now, sun mapping was something that we took into consideration, however, last year when we built our greenhouse, knowing that it was going to get east-facing morning sun, and then you can see at 12:30 in the afternoon where the sun is right behind it. So that is truly south. And you can see here, I have full shade because of the angle of the sun and the structure. Now in the summertime, we don't really get this much shade. We get a little bit. So here's another example of what happens when the sun is lower in the sky. So normally in the summer, it's much, much higher. But you can see that we still have some tender perennials that are staying evergreen. It's the end of December, and I still have hollyhock greens and some snapdragons, which I'm very, very excited to see in the springtime. And we have some bachelor buttons that are starting to come up that are winter sown, and my perennial sage is holding on. There's poppies that I planted, lots of things. So we're getting good exposure here. So while I mapped this out, I knew that this would stay very, very warm. So I had to make sure I sowed everything when at a time where it could be cold stratified. So if you're planning on anything that needs to go through a cold cycle, you want to consider that in your sun mapping. For instance, let me show you this. Hold on. So these little sprigs coming up under here are my sweet peas that I sowed several weeks ago. It was very, very chilly, and I did that at the same time that I planted the beds with our spring bulbs. So wow, look how amazing these snapdragons are holding on, and some more sweet peas. So these areas get a tremendous amount of sun. So whether you're thinking about growing vegetables or flowers, the main thing besides your zone and when you should sow seeds and when you should plan for first and last frost dates, something you want to take into consideration is how many hours of sun your items are going to need. Like tomatoes need full blast of sun. If something wants 4 hours of sun and 4 hours of shade, or start having a look now, because there's some things that are going to hang on longer, like herbs and things that stay hardy. Some rosemary stay hardy all through the year. The more sun, the better. But if you have an area where you just want to have a summer garden that's full blast sun, and you know you're not going to get any sun in the wintertime, take a look at that. Again, consider fences, trees, house structures, shed structures, anything that's going to throw shade onto your garden. So take a walk around now as you're planning and you're looking forward to the beautiful spring flowers and the summer tomatoes and cucumbers. I just cannot wait. and think about what you're doing. Maybe draw some rough pictures and make some notes for yourself about what time of the day you took the video, where you're looking at, where you're considering your garden, and maybe draw shapes of your potential beds. Make notes of what week or month or day it is and what time of day you're out there and how much sun you had. You know, video journaling is also very, very beneficial. Even if you don't have a channel, it's something that you can always keep in your phone and go back and say, okay, I've been watching this area. What does the sun look like now? And what does the sun look like in July? So anyway, they're just some tips for sun mapping, guys. I hope you're looking forward to the 2024 garden season. Thanks for spending the day with me. Happy New Year. I hope to see you soon.